So the topic of tonight's panel is going to be the upcoming DJ competition. So this is a world first, and this is unique to Germany. This is not happening anywhere in any other DMC chapters in the world. In fact, this isn't even officially a German DMC chapter thing. It's unique to this place, to Sample Music Festival, where for the first time we will steer away from the traditional format of DJ battles, where we have two turntables and a mixer, and people going crazy on them. Instead of that, we're gonna have a club setup. So 2 DJs and a mixer, and in one case, a custom setup on a Denon standalone player. Now, this has never happened before because DMC is rooted in hip-hop culture, where we have those flashy mixing techniques, body tricks, juggling, turntablism, all this stuff. That doesn't really appear in electronic music much. So the question I would like to throw to this panel is, what is your opinion on something like this happening, and does the concept of a competition even have a place in electronic music? Does this fit what we do as DJs?
I would say we have a competition between female DJ and male DJs, yeah? Because on festivals you mainly see male DJs and not so many female DJs. And what we do with Race the Planet is we love to have at least 50% of female DJs, yeah. And this is a competition I like, yeah, to get more women on stage, yeah. This because they have a different approach to the music. They have a different approach to mix the music, to deal with the audience and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
So, okay. But on the other hand, there is place in any genre. There is a place for competition, and what I must say, there is a lot of societies. They're going to invite people to show their skills and stuff like that, and have a little bit of a show off. Yeah, and I'm supporting this.
You said that competition is just like rooted in the hip hop culture, but in fact it's not. Even in the electronic DJ culture, we always had like competitions going on. Like me, I did a lot of competitions back in the days. A big one was Thirst by Heineken. Yeah, that was a European wide championship thing going on, and the winner was playing in Ibiza and got like his own record deal. So. It's...
What I meant was that DMC is rooted in hip-hop culture.
Okay.
So not battling specifically. We're all a little bit competitive, I think, about what we do. But let me not take...
I'm thinking about what is the goal of the DJ competition? Playing harder or playing faster, or then you're good, or I don't know.
That's it.
I mean, in my opinion, the DJ competition is when you play, people like it, they dance, then you're good. Yeah. That's a competition, so I don't see the goal in the competition with DJ. Or maybe I'm wrong, I don't know.
I don't think there is a right and wrong, there's only opinions. So what is yours?
Oh, yes.
So, first of all, about being rooted in hip-hop culture is interesting because the D in DMC stands for disco, doesn't it?
It's Disco Mix Club, yeah, I always laughed about that.
So, I kind of agree with what you're saying, that it shouldn't be a competition. If people are dance, you're good. But the problem is you can just put one tune after the other and people will dance because they dance into the music. The point of that is to demonstrate virtuosity in the skills of a DJ. But again, the whole thing of the competition comes from DJ culture, from hip-hop culture, unavoidably, because the whole notion of battles is not just in DJing. It was in breakdancing, it was in graffiti, it was in rapping, which of course, together with DJing, is the 4 pillars of hip-hop. So that's one thing. Whether the inclusion of DJ mixing in a hip-hop competition, that's going to be problematic, because hip-hop culture was always suspicious of the emerging rave culture, because it was something almost they feel stole it away from them. Hip-hop was a new big thing in the 80s, it emerged, and then exactly the same techniques hip-hop producers were using, the world picked up by electronic dance music producers, and they started becoming bigger and bigger. Now, from an outsider perspective, these are kind of points that are moot. We don't care about that. But within the realms of the culture, yeah, there's always this resistance from hip-hop culture to adopt and endorse, in a way, electronic dance music as we understand it, doesn't it?
The question I have is, have there been DJs before hip-hop culture?
Have there been disco?
Yeah.
Disco?
So it has been,
Disco.
because
And the answer is yes, yeah.
There's a very good book on DJhistory.com, and they say after the Second World War, there started DJing
Yeah, a
to the people.
jukebox in the 50s, the 50s, and then a big band was
or shellac
a DJ.
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but there has been DJ culture before.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of knowledge about that. So it's not just hip-hop started DJ culture.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I cannot agree. I respect that, but I cannot agree with that there has not been a DJ culture.
You're right.
Because I collect music since 1972, and I know a lot of music, and I play a lot of music, and it's not hip-hop culture. And I'm a DJ since a long time, yeah. So
Point, yeah.
I would say playing 6 hours in a club and not just 25 minutes or something like that. This is also a DJ culture, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, but we are talking specifically in the context of battling. Like, nobody says that hip-hop is the root of all DJing. I think like hip-hop is what let the physical style of performing emerge more, when people, instead of playing one record after another, figured out, okay, or I'm going to take 2 copies of the same record, and I'm going to rewind this one while this one plays to extend the break and make it longer and longer.
I do that too, and I've done that, yeah. I've played la-da-dee, la-da-da for hours, yeah. Really, I've done that. To have two records, 1991 at the Planet Club, yeah. I had a lot of records 2 times, and then doing that, what also happening in Chicago and also like in New York Paradise Garage and stuff like that, to give the people an experience, to mix the right stuff together and entertain the people and bring them to the dance floor, and then also like keep them on the dance floor and put them into certain things of a new, let's say, a state of consciousness, yeah, on the dance floor, that they don't understand what's going on here. And this is something different than DJ culture. Like I have total respect with like scratching and doing this for a long time, hip hop culture and stuff like that. I remember early 80s, there was a DJ in New York. He was on radio called Paco. And I liked that very much, what he did. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I think universally it comes from playing with music and using the turntable as a medium to do that. So whether it's disco or anything else or hip-hop, it kind of started around that time. But it is hip-hop culture that carried it to sort of competition level. So DMC kind of emerged out of that. Can we agree on that?
That's true, yeah, sure.
I'm not sure, because I didn't lived at these times when hip-hop culture was so great and what you talked about it. But from my point of view, I come straight out of the techno DJing scene, I would say, and competitions was one thing I would say from the last 10 years we would avoid totally between us, to not competition between each other, so to respect and tolerate the other kinds of interpretation of musical art. But yeah, I see also on the other hand that to step into a competition could bring you, or could bring great creativity out of you, which you would never use or try, because when I planned a set, or usually when I'm planning a set, this kind of sets should go over an hour, minimum an hour, and to bring something to the audience in a short amount of time, like 10 minutes, it forces you to try different things, or be, how you said, faster with your creativity to show the people the performance you usually create over an hour long. So yeah, both things are matters.
I mean, both these things can exist, I think, right? Yeah. So we can work on crafting our journeys, which can be, what, 3 hours, 12 hours, sometimes depends on what you play and when you play. But at some point when you get technical and intricate about your mixing, I think competing is a good way of measuring yourself, because at some level when you get very technical, you don't really have many people to talk to. So there is also the social aspect of competing, where a DMC battle is where you meet people who are, who get you. They do this every day as well, and you can't really take if you talk to I'm gonna say regular DJ, but somebody who quote unquote just DJs in a club and they don't feel like competing, they don't get very technical. Like for example, most DJ friends who visit my studio, they check out after 3 minutes because they don't know what's going on. It's 3 computers talking to each other and 50 boxes with buttons. They don't care about it. I do. So for me, going to a competition or coming to Sample Music Festival is where I can meet like-minded people who vibe with this specific, very nerdy thing. And a competition is perhaps also just a good way to exchange things. Say, here's what I found out. Here's the way I do things.
Yeah, just wanted to kind of just confirm what you're saying. Competition is not really about who's going to be better. It's more sharing, and it's a terminology thing. And it comes back from before hip hop was a thing. There's poetry competitions, there's poetry battles, there's everything battle. So the battle is not really a moment to say I'm better than you. It's just this is what I do, and then a panel of judges will say, yeah, you were a little bit better than him. And we've seen people like Kentaro in the 2002 competition, where he did some crazy avant-garde things over turntable. He didn't win, which he won another time. So yeah, it's not really about who's better or worse. It's just about this is what we do, and someone will have to come first or not. Really, yeah.
But I can, or I would say from a point of a woman, it's sometimes a little bit harder to step in this kind of competition.
Yeah, no, I agree, yeah, because it's men design those competitions, unfortunately, yeah. But it's breaking down, it's down, it's getting better, I would like to think, yeah.
And maybe you have to go more wild then, yeah? And it makes things different, yeah?
That's right.
Then you're like, wow, what that, yeah? That's what I see, like in a club, and you have like DJs, and then they battle. Yeah, it's like I understand that. Yeah, it's not about who's better. Like just show your strict tricks and stuff like that. Yeah, that's all right. But in techno, we don't have that.
So the question is, should we?
Give it a try, of course.
Right?
Yeah,
right?
give it a
it's
try.
It's finally
of
time
course.
we tried this and saw what happens.
But how? How? I mean, in techno, how can you try? I mean, what is the...
You put people on a stage and give them their time and see what they come up with. So here's the thing. This isn't like controllerism that I talked about earlier, where you come up with specific mappings for your unique thing that nobody in the jury can really get. We have a pretty much level playing field. We have a standard club setup, and it is inherently limited by its capabilities. There's such and such number of buttons. They have such and such features. And people with a specific, maybe performance-y, hackery, controlleristy mindset will explore, hey, what happens when I set a really short loop on a CDJ? And can I maybe, cut that and play a melody in that? Things like this. You see it at festivals. So there's a number of DJs who will explore the capabilities of the hardware, whereas others will just, focus on playing a really nice harmonic mix that tells a story. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what these people come up with in such a, like Dshanna said, in such a short amount of time, because there's no, you're not crafting a journey, you're just blasting out a showcase because you have this much time. So it's interesting because everybody really has, it's sort of on the same level. I think it's a fair challenge, wouldn't you say?
How I hear it and how it is set up, I would say yes, it's a fair challenge, and you can still you can compare those players or performers later because of the same setup, and I would say how they show up with their tricks and using the machines, it will give us something. I'm pretty sure. And what I wanted to say more is, when we look at the Sample Music Festival and how it evolved during the last years, then it's time to really bring such a competition on board too, I think, because otherwise it feels like, who are the DJs? can they also step into and show here something and feel part of this? And I would say, yeah, with this competition we solve or make it happen.
DJ become more and more a musician. That's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely they are. Absolutely, they are. Everybody is encouraged to produce.
We call it hybrid.
Yeah.
Set.
I mean, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You're encouraged as a DJ. You're encouraged to produce, to make a name for yourself. That's how you don't really these days. You don't really get bookings for just quote unquote just being a DJ. Like it's for your productions, and then you get to DJ somewhere, right? That's how I understand it. But I have a question for Tallah specifically. You mentioned this this Heineken thirst thing.
Yeah.
How did that work? What did it look like for you?
Oh, it was a party. It was a party, and like all the participants, they played their sets, and it was like I think 1.5 hours. Yep, 1.5 hours, and then there were judges, and they judged like by creativity, musical composition, and all that stuff. And there was also a judgment by the people in the club, so they could like message a certain number. Like, and these votes got counted. Like, so each DJ had a number, like, and they could vote.
So
for
the
that.
person who has
that
like
was really cool. You
the
know,
person
like,
who has like the local following brings like 500 people. Yeah,
yeah.
I suck, but I won.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, it was like that, a bit. but in the end, it happened here in Berlin in a Sage Club, where I was resident at that time. So like, unfortunately, I had like some advantage.
Just a little bit.
So I played at last. So that was my decision, like to say, okay, to give all the others a fair chance. Like I'm going to play last at the party. And it was a great party, to be honest. And that was the most important thing about it. Like people raved, people danced, and till the end.
It's really an interesting concept because if you have like 1.5 hours, how many participants? 4 or something, probably?
Yeah.
So one of these people has to play warm-up, so they can't really go all out, or did they?
No, there was a warm-up. There was a warm-up
okay.
by the club, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was cool. That was not the only DJ competition like that. But they stopped that, I think, like in the 2010s. Before, there were a lot of DJ competitions.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I started round about 2013, and I never had the experience to step in such kind of an event like DJ competitions.
Yeah, and it's sad, to be honest, because like it was great. It was a great approach, like for a DJ to get an audience, like especially for a beginner DJ. You know, because that nowadays, of course, we have social media and we have all that stuff. We can stream and.
To be honest, is like I would say it's very important for young people who wants to DJ. It's important to DJ in front of people because this is a real test. Yeah, if you have this never done, so you don't know because it's there. You have to be on point. You have to know your music. You have to know which is the first one, which is the second one, which is the third one, and stuff like that. And you have to be prepared for 1 hour or 2 hours, or just say it half an hour or 20 minutes, something like that. Yeah, if you have a competition to get the prize for whatever. I have done that a long time ago in Cologne. There was like sponsored by the government and the authorities. They were supporting this because it's like youth culture, and they said, okay, you can be part of the DJ battle, and then you can win a prize if you get voted well and stuff like that. And pretty soon I will also be on another one where some people come together and said, let's do that for young people to have a chance to get in public and play in public and show what the skills are and stuff like that. And I like to support that, and I always support that and have young people to try out what they can do and to learn stuff like that. And it's really good. I like that.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. Until you've actually stepped in front of a crowd, you don't really know what it's like to DJ. You can play 8-hour sets at home, but you're playing to a freaking wall or maybe a camera. But that's nowhere like, you know, being in a club, looking at people, feeling their vibes and responding to them. So It's crucial, and it's also in terms of battling. If you've never competed in a battle, whether you're turntablist, controllerist, finger drummer, or DJ, it's really important to experience that, because even if you lose, like, I'm gonna just divert a little bit, tell a little bit about my history. I started competing in laptop battles in 2006, and I was a student back then. I was freaking broke, so for me traveling to another city with my gear, it was impossible. It was like this, and then I eat rice for 2 weeks because, no money. And for the first 3 years, I went from Munich to like Frankfurt and regularly just got my ass kicked. Like, I was losing in the first round. It took me 3 years to finally win one. And then, then I started competing in IDA. For a few years, I started winning things. But those first 3 years, I remember almost most fondly, because it was that experience of, oh shit, the bar is a little bit higher. That's what the others are doing. That's what I can learn. So I encourage everybody who has never participated in a battle and is thinking about it, just go for it. It's not embarrassing, and the experience you get from it is absolutely invaluable. So, yeah, dare to take your steps. Now over to you again. I have no idea what more questions to ask, so maybe you just want to talk about something.
What is the future of DJing?
You're asking me.
I don't really know. I don't really know.
Freaking amazing.
Maybe
Okay,
performing,
that's
DJing and performance together, dancing, DJing behind the desk. I don't know. I see so many DJs dancing on Instagram. I think, is it a DJ or dancer? So what is that? Maybe is that the future?
Yeah, there is a future.
Yeah.
Alex, do you want to comment?
Yeah, because if you say techno culture, people love to dance, and people like to be a DJ to make people dance. So it's like you see, after the pandemic and the lockdown, there were a lot of parties, illegal parties during the lockdown, and the people love to dance to the music. Yeah, even like the clubs are down and closed, and I also experienced something like playing at home, live stream. I didn't like that. I couldn't stand that. Me alone playing something. No, that was nothing to me. But what the young people now have, they created their own style. Yeah, they have now these hard techno really fast and dance together, and they have like everyone is around the DJ. I like that very, very much, because this is like they found out their own style after that. No one teaches them how we are dancing in the club, because normally it's like that. Yeah, we come together and they know they have to go to the club, and this is what the young people now, the next generation after a lockdown is doing. They're doing a lot of illegal rave parties, yeah, and this is what makes the ordinary club owners difficult, because no one is coming from the young people, yeah? So they have really problems. I have been to a couple of events where there was a week before, there was an event that was just advertised on TikTok. And then I came a week later to the party, was ordinary advertised by posters and stuff like that, and no one was there. Yeah, and this is something like we have a new generation of club goers, and they're not club goers. They go on their special events, advertise somewhere of location, and this is what I also like in a way, and on the other way not.
Yeah, just to go back on the kind of competition thing, and we kind of agree on this, that it would be difficult to compete on a DJ format for a shorter duration. But the problem is that there's no uniformity. So you can have someone like, I hate models, very energetic performance, hard techno, but then someone that's playing house music, if they try to do a similar format, it would not work. Similarly, if you have someone like, I don't know, like deadmau5, not performing, but then is interesting to watch, then you have people like that do the whole hypnotic scene of Spain, like Norbach or so on, where if you try to do something very energetic, it just would not work with that genre. So the problem with these competitions is that you're trying to judge everyone on the same pedestal, but they're all very, very different things. Yeah, and actually within controllerism, someone you might know, Team Exile, was talking about that is great what controllerism does, but it needs to be standardized if it's to become assessed somehow. Like you see the piano, the guitars, everything has taken years of being developed into what we see today, and it hasn't changed. Controllerism changes every week. There's a new thing coming out. So unless it's standardized, you cannot really assess it.
But then it's kind of a feedback loop because you can't really standardize it. Because controllerism is inherently individual. No two controllerists have the same setup or the same style.
Yeah.
So it's same. I mean, I agree that something like a freaking chill out battle is not going to work.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a competition, like who falls asleep stoned the fastest. It's like we can't do that.
I mean, how we assess students for their exams, because there are DJ performances as exams, is we do scrutineering. So before the performance, we're going to see the system, we're going to see what's their mappings, what you've done to it, if it's anything different, and then we say, yeah, this is good enough. One guy thought he was smart, and he had everything arranged in logic, and he had a thing that supposedly was a delay. He didn't pass. And we explained to him that this is no performance.
Yeah, but
Dead Mouse does this. Like, yeah, but when you reach Dead Mouse level, then you can do it,
and
not
also
before.
Basically, when you build your own stage and when you synchronize all your visuals yourself, then you can do that stuff.
And on the other hand, it depends on the idea, what to battle for. Yeah, so you have to start and think over, and this is what I like here. Like say, we battle open style. So that's all right. Yeah. So and it's like more showing off what you can do, and not like he's the best and he can really control his system and stuff like that. I like that open-minded, but if you have a different idea, you can say, okay, I have a certain genre, and in there we can battle, yeah? Who's a better house DJ, who's a better trance DJ, or whatever, yeah? And, or you say, like what we see later on, what can you do in 10 minutes, yeah? I like everything, yeah? So I'm really curious for later on.
And also, I actually really would like you guys to try to answer Jay's question. What do you think the future of DJing is? Since like technology has evolved to a point where, in terms of just raw beat matching and even mixing harmonically, we have software, even the hardware players basically do it for us. So all we do is selecting and pushing play and then mixing. No. So, yes it is. Come on. But what do you think is the next step? Like, let's assume that this is the baseline for everybody, except Sven Feth, who always DJs on vinyl, and respect that. But
more DJs,
okay, but of course, but of course, I also have a few records that I only play as records. But in generally, with the technology being at this level as a baseline, what's next?
What I saw last year at Superbooth, there was a brain interface. They had a brain interface which is measuring your EEG thing,
core,
and is translating this to control voltage. So you can plug in your brain into a modular synth, and that's crazy.
I've done that with the Muse actually to control Touch Designer. It's pretty interesting.
Yep. So maybe that's one.
I think that there's one point of the technical side, and the other is the performer side. Yep. To separate this. I love such technology, things like you described right now, but when I remember your speech today, Alex's speech, the turntablism, controllerism, history and devices they used, you can see, or we see, there's not so huge evolving. They stay consistent. So I think it's not. I didn't escape or think about a revolution in the kind of DJing. I don't see that. For me, I see more to make things better, easier, faster. The technique is rising and evolving still. So we will, I think, save more time later to be more the performer the audience is looking for, and having therefore more time and power. I don't think it's general, but it could has an impact in the future on the role of a DJ when the technique is getting faster, but how, I cannot see how. I don't see a technical rising.
What to me is really important is the guy who's playing the music. Yeah. And it's also like inside of a club, we are all humans and we are social beings and we like to do something together. Yeah, so it cannot be just having a DJ set for 1 hour, like with time code, and to have it together with a lightning system and stuff like that. No, what I really like is to be prepared as a DJ and then get in contact with the crowd and communicate with the crowd and see how they react on that, and you can follow and stuff like that. So it's more like an interactive thing on that level. The technique, okay, we have a standard right now. I play no records anymore. I play uncompressed media, like if I have it also on 24 bits and stuff like that, high quality. And this is what I like, to have a good sound system, a good technique on the desk, and then have an open-minded crowd in front of me, and then having an experience together for 2 hours or something like that. Yeah? This is what I see. And this was like something we do such a long time, and I think people love to do that and have something like dance-wise an experience all together in a club. Yeah.
I mean, for the future, because we talked with Alex about this, what's going to be the next ISM. But I don't think there's going to be much development in technology and the instrument, because it's reached a point when everyone is comfortable with that. Maybe some motion sensors like the one you showed, perhaps. But I think there is space in the future for material, and particularly forbidden sampling, which is stem separation. And, you know, Native Instruments were ahead of the game with the whole stems thing in 2015, which of course kind of died off, but now it's coming back slowly. But now you have things like DMAX, and something I love doing recently is unmixing old reggae music and then doing dub sets with things I could not do before. Now, ethically, I think there's a bit of an issue there, because sampling is an established technique. So if someone releases a piece of music, they understand that, okay, someone might sample it. But they do not release the full vocals. And then with some songs, you can actually get the full vocal through source separation software. So it raises some ethical dilemmas about, are you supposed to be there? It feels voyeuristic. It's almost like being in the booth with the vocalist doing the recording. But that's for making music. For performing music, I think you can do whatever the hell you want. So I think the future would be selection. So who can make the most interesting mashup, let's say. But now you can do it to a far more detail rather than some equalizing, some stuff like that. You can take, you know, a complete backing track from one song. You can take the rhythm section from another, the vocals from another, and so on, and make something completely different. And I think that's very exciting, because you can listen to very familiar songs in a completely new light. And yeah, so copyright be damned, but yeah, I think there's going to be some cool stuff coming out from that.
So I'm going to try to rephrase my question a little bit. So the legends of old, the people we looked up to, you guys, people like the turntablists, Qbert, Craze, and said about it. These guys kind of showed us things that we didn't yet know that we love. So now, coming down to the selection part, of course, that is part of it. But in terms of technology, if we can do the things that we do, like for example, again, talking about myself, sorry, but if I can synchronize 2 laptops, I can have one do DJ software, I can run a DAW, and I do that. And on the other one, I can synchronize VJ software and another generative visual software and control all of this in sync with OSC, MIDI, and audio, and all these things. Is it not kind of my duty, or any artist who has reached a decent level, is it not kind of their duty to explore a little bit more and push the art form and kind of show us not just what's possible, but like the vision of what can be done? I mean, if we don't do that, aren't we just going to end up being better selectors who are slightly faster with stem separation, etc.? And yeah, do we have a duty to explore technology? That's the question, probably.
Sure.
Nailed it.
Short answer, yes, yeah, of course. But this is what we do. This is, you know, this is development, of course. This is like, you know, how the crossfader got invented, how the Jane got invented, how the 3-band EQ in the channels of the mixer got invented. It was all by, like, there was a necessity, yeah?
I think.
So they needed to have something. They wanted to like perform something, and then there was technical limitations. Yeah, or like how acid house like was born. You know, it's like someone twisted the wrong knob on the 303. So, and I think DJing might like live up through the combination of live musical instruments like synthesizers or whatever in the future. Yeah.
And it's also in the present, we have a lot of live acts going on. Yeah, it's like one guy I like very much is Zytek. He's constantly at home doing live sets during the whole pandemic, and then also in the clubs. He's doing 2-hour sets like with his equipment. I'm really like that very much. Zytek, that's really, really good. So that's another thing. And then also you have the hybrid thing going on. You have your tools, and you have your laptop, and then also the CDJs. And also what you have is you have the DJs playing only the CDJs and doing their cue points. And stuff like that, yeah. So that's what I also do, like having a loop inside, and then it can start something new out of that, yeah. So because then you know the EQ, you know how the mixer is running and how it's working, and you have to study actually, yeah, what to do with a big sound system. And on a big sound system, first you don't play MP3. Not at all, because this bad sound is not made for playing in a big sound system. But if you have a high quality, uncompressed audio files, this is where you can feel the bass, and then you can change the equalizing and stuff like that. Yeah? So you really have to practice this and actually have to understand and read books how to be a good DJ. There's a lot of tutorials out there on the internet. Just look and find out and practice, 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 practice.
Yeah, that's very true. Like a lot of DJs don't really know how a mixer works, which is very funny. You go to a festival and you play after somebody, and like basically everything is red, and the gain is to the right, and you're like, dude, like what did you just kill all the dynamics? Let me play a 10-minute intro. So there's a lack of knowledge among DJs, which is scary, honestly, because I always wondered, like, how can you do this? It's like aiming a gun at people and just not, you know.
Louder is better.
That was always like that. Even in the 90s, they don't see even the mixer, and then just gain everything.
But then
it's not new.
Then of course it's not. But
I mean, then if you have something, you know,
but the lack of knowledge,
you don't hear anything.
The lack of desire for knowledge is probably the thing. Like, not the fact that I don't know, but I would like to know. Like, I want to know how this works, you know. And that's very hard to instill in people. How do you get them to want to learn? But Dshanna, I have a question for you, because you've been silent, and I'm curious because you are, as an artist, you cover the very hard banging techno with 3Ks that just rips people's heads off. But you also play very relaxed morning sets, so you can combine the two. So as an artist who is a DJ and a producer and a live act, do you see yourself merging those things into a singular performance and doing all these things together, or is it something that you would like to keep separate?
Right now I'm not planning or have no plans to merge it together, but I see it from other artists and I like it, how they use it. But you asked if the community from people which are showing the love on skills, using the technique, if there's a need, and I would say yes. I can see the events are they're going big in the last years, like the Super Booth. I see it in events like here. There's lots of people outside who are interested in what is happening behind your tool or behind the technique, how you use it. But at the same point, I see a very, very strong a community which are consuming music, and it's in specific terms like events, we call them raves, and I see there is not the need of the organizers or the audience to see something new, something weirdo, something specifically technical stuff. So they really want to have fun, dance, and play the music. Don't stop this music. Please don't stop this music. So I don't see that the scene or the people are ready to really prepare the rooms, prepare the resources around this kind of events to bring out more live acts, more people who are doing hybrid sets, because it makes technically much more work to prepare. And yeah, I see at the one hand, technique is rising and the interests are rising. A lot of females are stepping into that right now in the last 5 or 10 years. Also in the modular scene. So doing live sets is very common also for a lot of people. But to really have the options to show up this is still rare. And I don't see that people really ready to make it happen at raves, to make a diverse artist lineup.
Yeah, it's very true, and like many promoters don't really dare to book somebody new who does something new, who takes risks, because of course for them it's a business, and it's always been an issue. And I personally, I don't like people who play it safe, but like, I also can't blame them because it's their source of income. So. But can we get some noise for Dshanna? Because we all agree with her, I think, that needs to happen more. Amazing. Thank you, guys. So yeah, I am not entirely sure if we're on time, out of time. Can we keep talking? Where's Alex? Alex is not in the room. That means
taking
we can keep
a break.
Talking, I guess.
Keep talking, keep talking.
You keep talking, because I shouldn't talk so much. I'm just the host.
I mean,
maybe some anecdotes from your DJ life.
It's very interesting what you're talking about, the whole community thing. So perhaps now that I'm thinking of it, maybe participation would be the future. Maybe more, let's get a playlist that people will not vote, but somehow they will say, no, play this next, or play that style next. But then again, you can, and this can break down this barrier of, you know, the genius DJ behind the booth that is all mysterious and we don't know what they're doing. No, actually, you introduce the people in and you tell them, no, you can do this too. I will just guide you on the technical side, but you can tell me what to do in terms of the aesthetics. So participation could be a thing. I mean, there's a lot of online battles as well, where people battle online with things like Ninjam or stuff like that. So maybe once internet connection can be even faster, that could be something there too.
I tried to do an online party once and it was like horrible.
We need faster internet.
It was during the pandemic and it just made me feel like more sad.
It's so sad, because I think every DJ kind of did that. I feel like every single one of my friends started streaming during the pandemic, and I used this time to just like build this insane construct where the participation thing comes in, where people who watch me on Twitch, they can push a button and then the visuals change and all this stuff, you know. But it's soulless because you are DJing to a freaking camera. There's nobody in the room. I'm DJing on my headphones. I feel nothing.
By the way, that's one thing like where I'm curious or not so curious about the battle situation. You know, it's like DJing is in a way electronic music. DJing is communication. Yeah, so it's not like a one-way thing. Like you put something into the audience or like somewhere in the camera and there's no reaction. I know a good DJ reacts on what is going on the dance floor. So it's energy flow. And in a battle situation, when there is no audience, it's like, you prepare your set, yes, and like there's a lot of skill involved, yes. Still, like I don't know. I'm interested, like in how this will evolve in a way.
But you know what's interesting here? Have you heard of DVS1 on the Wall of Sound system? So he's an American DJ, and he's you know DVS1. Okay, sorry, don't mean to insult you, but he is taking the whole idea back to the sound system culture from Jamaica, where the performer is not even visible.
Oh, wow.
So, like hidden behind the sound system. And the idea is, don't look at me. Or what are Tekker are doing with everything dark. The point is the music, not me, not the idol. Do not tell me how amazing I am.
That's cool.
So this kind of participation and kind of reacting to the audience becomes kind of different, doesn't it? So again, I'm not saying one is better or worse than the other. It's just a different approach, isn't it?
And this is also electronic dance music culture. Don't look to the DJ, otherwise it's rock and roll, yeah? And we don't like rock and roll. Everyone's looking there. No, we love to dance everywhere, yeah? So let's put the sound system like that, yeah? So you can dance there, and you have a bass everywhere. And just like everyone is dancing everywhere. That was like in Berlin, the Finanzamt, the financial office was going around and then checked the clubs. Are they doing concerts, yeah, or something like that? And then they found out no one is looking at the DJ. They dance everywhere, so it's not a concert; it's just a club gig, yeah. So they said you have to pay back for 10 years the amount of taxes you didn't pay, yeah, and then. And then Berghain, it was like that, because we love to dance. Okay, we have a special DJs, but we love to dance everywhere, yeah? They're not just looking. No, that's not our style. And then it was like that they said you have to pay back the money you didn't pay, the taxes, yeah? And Berghain then took a lawyer and put it on a case, and they won. And it was like that. They become like so. You're right, and you stay like as a culture, and you stay on 7% taxes. You have to pay for clubs, yeah. And so that's a good thing. But on the other hand, they think, wow, there's a special DJ, and it's like a concert. No, we dance everywhere, yeah. So and they don't understand the electronic dance music culture.
Yep. Same was going on for the GEMA as well. Yeah, as people like Paul Kalkbrenner, I guess, was the one like doing live shows, and he wanted to become a full-fledged member of the GEMA, and they declined that because he was not playing concerts. He was part of club gigs and all that stuff, and and he had to sue them. Like. Yeah,
so
and
you wanted to be in the GEMA? Are you?
Yeah, but nowadays, when we look to come back a little bit to the topic, how DJ will evolve or sit in the scene in the future, it's really I can see clearly that the person as the DJ gets more and more important for the crowd as it was 10 years ago. Also, I would say from my point of view, it was 10 years ago more focusing on, we're going to club and listen to nice music, and then we will hear new music which we never heard before. And nowadays it's more like, oh, this DJ is playing in that club, and then we should watch him or her perform. So it's a little bit in disbalance right now, in my point of view.
I would say it's both. Yeah, it's like you go to a certain club because you like the club, and then you go to another club because there's a certain DJ playing. That has always been.
Yeah, but Instagram is so important, or social media's on top of all that to get at least to these gigs and to this point where you can show up your music.
Of course.
Yeah, but on that point, I must say social media nowadays is not social media anymore because it's advertised media, yeah? So I would like rather be radical and say switch off, yeah?
Highly recommended. I turned off my Instagram notifications like 2 years ago. Anyway, guys, we actually need to be getting closer to the end. So does anyone have any closing words? Any questions from the audience?
My closing word is...
Please feel free to ask us things. We will try to answer them. Yes? No?
No.
So then I have a closing word. I say, let's make more music, dance together, and have fun and love each other.
That's amazing. Cheers, Motte. Thank you very much. And let's go on.
We can dance every day for freedom and peace. Yeah, and this is what we should do. We are the humans on that planet, and we love to have freedom and peace together. Yeah, and not fighting each other. So stop all wars also.
Yes, thank you very much for stopping all wars.